Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English Journey Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe for daily English tips and fun learning moments.
Hello! I'm so happy you're here with us today. If this is your very first time listening, I have something really important to tell you.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
You didn't find this podcast by accident. You're here because deep down, you want to grow. You want to improve your English. And most importantly, you want to become the best version of yourself.
That's so true. And here's the best part. You're not alone. We're on this journey together. Every single day, we share simple, helpful, and meaningful tips to support you. Because we believe
That when knowledge is shared with love, it can truly change lives. And that's exactly what we want to do for you.
So, if you're ready to take a small but powerful step in your English learning, if you want to feel inspired, and if you want to believe more in your own potential,
Then stick with us, subscribe, listen, and let's walk this path together, one small step at a time, one day at a time.
now, I know everyone has different reasons for learning English. Some of you might want to travel and talk to people in other countries.
Some might want to make new friends online or at school, and some might need English for work. Whatever your reason is, you are in the perfect place.
Today, we're going to talk about something really important for all English learners, the power of daily listening practice.
Yes, and I want to make something clear. Listening practice is not just about hearing words. It's so much more than that.
Exactly. It's about connecting with the language naturally, like when you chat with a friend.
When you listen carefully and consistently, it changes everything. Your English improves, your confidence grows, and your speaking becomes easier than you ever imagined.
That's amazing. So here's my advice. Grab your favorite drink, maybe tea, coffee, or even just water. Sit down, relax, and get comfortable because we're going to dive in.
And remember, this isn't about rushing or stressing, it's about enjoying the journey. Small daily steps can lead to big changes.
Imagine this. Each day you listen to English, your brain starts to recognize patterns naturally. Words, phrases, and even the way sentences flow start to feel familiar.
And before you know it, you're not just understanding words, you're understanding meaning. You're thinking in English. And that is the magic of daily listening.
That's right. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger your English gets. You'll notice that listening becomes easier, speaking becomes faster, and you'll feel more confident in every conversation.
And the best part? It doesn't have to be hard. Just a few minutes a day, every day, adds up. Consistency is key.
So let's make a little promise together today. Every day, we'll spend a few minutes listening, practicing, and enjoying English. One step, one day at a time.
And trust me, if you keep going, in a few weeks, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come.
Yes, so take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's enjoy today's lesson together. Because your journey, your growth, and your future self are worth it.
Absolutely. Ready? Let's start. And remember, learning English is a journey, not a race. One day, one step, one moment at a time.
So today, we're going to explore something really exciting, how to make English listening not only useful, but also fun, something that can fit easily into your everyday life.
Yes, and let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like learning a new language is like climbing a huge, tall mountain?
Oh, I know that feeling. At the beginning, you're full of excitement and energy. You're learning new words every day. You study grammar, try exercises, and you feel like you're making amazing progress.
Exactly. But then something happens. Suddenly, your improvement slows down. You feel stuck, like you're climbing but not moving forward.
And the excitement starts to fade. Learning feels harder and maybe even a little frustrating.
Many learners experience this stopping point, and for most people, it happens when they try to understand spoken English.
Reading might still feel okay. Writing might be a little challenging, but manageable. Speaking, well, with practice, you can say some sentences. But listening? Listening can feel like the hardest part of all.
Maybe this has happened to you. You try to listen to a native speaker, but they talk so fast. Or you watch a movie without subtitles, and suddenly you feel lost.
Exactly. It feels like all the English you studied just disappears. The words blur together, turning into strange sounds you don't understand.
Has that ever happened to you? If yes, don't worry. You are not alone.
Let me tell you a story. I once had a student, I'll call her Anna. She was amazing, very smart, very hardworking. Anna always completed her grammar exercises perfectly. Her essays were clear, well-written, and full of great ideas. She could explain her thoughts in class with confidence.
But then, one day, she came to me looking sad, almost defeated. Her shoulders were down and she seemed tired.
She said, "Teacher, I don't understand. I try to listen, but my mind goes blank. People talk so fast. It feels like a storm of confusing sounds. I cannot catch the words. I cannot understand anything."
Can you relate to Anna? Maybe sometimes you feel the same way when listening. And guess what? That's okay. It happens to everyone at some point.
Absolutely. Listening is not about being perfect. It's about learning slowly, step by step. Just like climbing that big mountain, you don't need to reach the top in one day.
And here's the good news. Even if it feels impossible now, with small, daily practice, it becomes easier. Words start to make sense, sentences start to flow, and slowly the storm turns into clear skies.
Yes, and that's what we want to focus on today. Finding ways to make listening easier, more natural, and even fun, so you can enjoy it every day without stress.
Because the truth is, listening is the bridge to understanding and speaking better. And once you cross that bridge, everything else, reading, writing, even speaking, feels much easier.
Exactly. So don't be afraid if you feel lost sometimes. Remember Anna. Remember yourself. This is all part of the journey.
Step by step, day by day. That's how you climb the mountain and reach your goal. And the best part? Every small step brings real progress.
So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's explore some simple ways to make listening practice a natural part of your day. Because today, we're turning that storm of confusing sounds into something clear, understandable, and even fun. You know, the truth about Anna's problem was not that she wasn't smart, not that she didn't try hard, not that she lacked ability.
So what was missing?
What Anna really needed was training. Her ears and her brain hadn't yet learned to understand English as a real, living language.
Ah, that makes so much sense. See, many learners think of English just as a subject in school, a book, exercises, grammar rules.
But English is so much more than that. It's alive. It's in conversations, songs, movies, and real-life communication. And to really understand it, you have to train your brain step by step, just like children do when they learn their first language.
Exactly. Think about children. They don't start with grammar books. They don't write essays on their first day.
No, they listen, and they listen and listen. For months, for years. They hear their parents talk, songs playing, stories being told, and all the sounds around them.
Slowly, their brain starts recognizing the sounds, the words, and what they mean. And then, finally, they begin to speak naturally.
That's why daily listening practice is so powerful. It helps you learn English in a natural way, just like a child does.
Think about it. Children don't memorize long lists of words. They don't sit with grammar books all day. Instead, they listen. They hear their parents, they listen to siblings, they listen to everything happening around them.
And step by step, without even realizing it, they begin to understand. Their brains connect sounds to meaning naturally.
For example, when a mother always says milk while giving a cup, the child learns, milk means this white drink.
Slowly, over time, they build their language naturally. No force, no stress, just listening and absorbing.
Now, as adults, we often learn differently. We sit in classrooms, follow books, memorize lists, and study grammar. That structured plan can help, but it misses something crucial.
And that crucial thing is being surrounded by the language, hearing it, feeling it, noticing it everywhere. The child's method, listening and absorbing, still works, even for adults.
The problem is, most learners don't do it. They focus too much on rules and exercises and too little on listening every day.
And that's why listening can feel so hard. If your brain isn't trained to connect sounds to meaning naturally, everything feels fast, confusing, and overwhelming.
But here's the good news. If you start small, if you practice listening daily, step by step, your brain begins to understand. Words start to make sense, sentences start to flow.
You begin to recognize the sounds of English naturally, like a child does. And slowly, your confidence grows. You understand more, speak more, and finally, listening stops feeling impossible.
That's right. And the best part? You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't need hours of study. A few minutes every day consistently is enough to start noticing real change.
So today, let's focus on listening, step by step, day by day. And remember, learning English isn't just about books. It's about hearing, understanding, and enjoying the language in real life.
That's it. Let's take this small, powerful step together and turn listening from something hard into something natural and fun.
Now let's talk about a big challenge for many learners.
You know, most students spend hours on word lists and grammar drills, and while those things are useful, they aren't enough on their own.
Exactly. Without real English input, without hearing real voices and real conversations, it's like trying to learn swimming by just reading a book.
That's a great example. You might know all the rules of swimming, but until you actually jump into the water, you'll never truly swim.
And the same goes for listening in English. Jumping into the water means giving yourself constant, varied, real exposure to spoken English. That's how you train your ear and your brain to really understand.
And I want to make something really clear. When I say daily listening practice, I'm not saying you need to spend hours every day studying English. No.
Even just 15 to 20 minutes of focused listening each day can make a huge difference.
Yes, but here's the important word: focused. Simply having English audio playing in the background while you cook, clean, or scroll on your phone is okay. It helps a little. You get used to the sounds, the rhythm, maybe some words.
But if you want real improvement, real understanding, you need to practice active listening.
And what is active listening? It means really trying to understand the main ideas of what you hear, paying attention to key words and phrases, even trying to guess what the speaker might say next. It's not just hearing, it's thinking in English while listening.
And when you do this, your progress grows much faster.
Let me tell you a story to show what I mean. This time, it's about a young man named Kenji.
Kenji loved to travel. His big dream was to pack his backpack and visit many English-speaking countries. He already knew some English, enough for simple conversations, but he wanted more.
He wanted to feel comfortable and confident when talking to strangers, in unplanned situations, and when he needed to understand quickly.
And that's where active listening made all the difference. Kenji started small, 15 to 20 minutes a day. He listened carefully to conversations, short podcasts, and even simple English videos.
At first, it was difficult. Words sounded fast and confusing, but he didn't give up. He focused on understanding the main ideas, key words, and patterns in speech.
Slowly, things started to click. He could guess what someone would say next. He could follow the flow of conversations. And soon, he noticed something amazing.
He was understanding English faster than ever. Sentences became clear, words were no longer just sounds, they had meaning. And most importantly, he felt more confident speaking with anyone.
That's the power of focused, daily listening. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't require complicated exercises, just consistent, active practice.
So if you're feeling stuck, like Anna did, or nervous about listening, remember Kenji. Start small, practice actively, and let your brain adjust naturally to the sounds of English.
Step by step, day by day, you can train your ear and your mind, and soon listening stops feeling impossible.
That's right. And the best part? You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't need hours of study. A few minutes every day consistently is enough to start noticing real change.
So today, let's focus on listening, step by step, day by day. And remember, learning English isn't just about books. It's about hearing, understanding, and enjoying the language in real life.
That's it. Let's take this small, powerful step together and turn listening from something hard into something natural and fun.
Now let's talk about a big challenge for many learners.
You know, most students spend hours on word lists and grammar drills, and while those things are useful, they aren't enough on their own.
Exactly. Without real English input, without hearing real voices and real conversations, it's like trying to learn swimming by just reading a book.
That's a great example. You might know all the rules of swimming, but until you actually jump into the water, you'll never truly swim.
And the same goes for listening in English. Jumping into the water means giving yourself constant, varied, real exposure to spoken English. That's how you train your ear and your brain to really understand.
And I want to make something really clear. When I say daily listening practice, I'm not saying you need to spend hours every day studying English. No.
Even just 15 to 20 minutes of focused listening each day can make a huge difference.
Yes, but here's the important word: focused. Simply having English audio playing in the background while you cook, clean, or scroll on your phone is okay. It helps a little. You get used to the sounds, the rhythm, maybe some words.
But if you want real improvement, real understanding, you need to practice active listening.
And what is active listening? It means really trying to understand the main ideas of what you hear, paying attention to key words and phrases, even trying to guess what the speaker might say next. It's not just hearing, it's thinking in English while listening.
And when you do this, your progress grows much faster.
Let me tell you a story to show what I mean. This time, it's about a young man named Kenji.
Kenji loved to travel. His big dream was to pack his backpack and visit many English-speaking countries. He already knew some English, enough for simple conversations, but he wanted more.
He wanted to feel comfortable and confident when talking to strangers, in unplanned situations, and when he needed to understand quickly.
And that's where active listening made all the difference. Kenji started small, 15 to 20 minutes a day. He listened carefully to conversations, short podcasts, and even simple English videos.
At first, it was difficult. Words sounded fast and confusing, but he didn't give up. He focused on understanding the main ideas, key words, and patterns in speech.
Slowly, things started to click. He could guess what someone would say next. He could follow the flow of conversations. And soon, he noticed something amazing.
He was understanding English faster than ever. Sentences became clear, words were no longer just sounds, they had meaning. And most importantly, he felt more confident speaking with anyone.
That's the power of focused daily listening. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't require complicated exercises, just consistent, active practice.
So if you're feeling stuck, like Anna did, or nervous about listening, remember Kenji. Start small, practice actively, and let your brain adjust naturally to the sounds of English.
Step by step, day by day, you can train your ear and your mind, and soon listening stops feeling impossible.
That's right. And the best part? You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't need hours of study. A few minutes every day consistently is enough to start noticing real change.
So today, let's focus on listening, step by step, day by day. And remember, learning English isn't just about books.
Yes, that kind of passive listening does help a little. It helps your ears get used to the sounds of English and the rhythm of how people speak. But if you want real improvement, you need to go one step further.
That's where active listening comes in.
And what exactly is active listening?
Active listening means you really focus. You try to understand the main message of what's being said. You notice the key words and phrases. You even try to guess what the speaker will say next.
When you do this, listening isn't just hearing anymore. It becomes thinking. It becomes working with the language. Your brain starts connecting sounds to meaning naturally.
At first, active listening might feel strange. You might even feel a little awkward. Some people try shadowing, repeating after the speaker, and at first it feels funny or slow.
But that's normal. Step by step, your brain adapts. Words start to sound familiar, sentences start to flow naturally, and before you know it, you can understand more than you thought possible.
Exactly, and that's the magic of daily practice. It's not about rushing. It's about small, focused steps that build real understanding over time.
So today, let's follow Kenji's example. Start small. Listen actively. Repeat. Notice the sounds and words. Try to understand the meaning. Even 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Step by step, day by day, you'll feel more confident. Your English will improve, and listening will stop feeling impossible.
That's right. And soon, the English that once felt fast and confusing will start to make sense and feel natural, just like a conversation with a friend. So remember when we talked about shadowing? At first, it might feel a little funny.
Yeah, repeating after a speaker, trying to copy their words and rhythm, it can feel awkward at first. But trust me, it's one of the best ways to improve both listening and speaking at the same time.
That's right. Shadowing trains your ears, your brain, and even your mouth to work together smoothly in English. And Kenji practiced shadowing almost every day.
At the beginning, he still needed the transcript often. He would pause, look at the words, and try again. But after a few weeks of focused practice, something amazing started to happen.
He didn't need the transcript as much anymore. The sounds that once felt like a fast, confusing stream of noise were now forming clear sentences with real meaning.
Slowly, Kenji was connecting the dots in his mind. He could recognize words, phrases, and the rhythm of natural English.
Then one special day, Kenji sent me a message. You could feel his excitement through his words. He wrote, "Teacher, I was sitting in a coffee shop today. 2 people near me were speaking in English, and for the first time I understood them. I didn't catch every single word, but I understood the conversation. I was so happy."
That was a life-changing moment for him. For the first time, he realized all his hard work was paying off.
Kenji later told me something really important. He admitted he didn't understand every single word in that conversation. But here's the amazing part. He still understood the main idea of what they were saying.
Exactly. They were talking about a new movie, and to Kenji's great joy, he even caught a joke they made and laughed at the right moment.
He wrote to me, "It was such a small thing, but for the first time, I felt like I was really in the conversation, not just watching from far away. It was amazing."
And that's the key. That small moment of connection, truly feeling part of the English-speaking world, is exactly what we are aiming for with listening practice.
Yes, it's not about understanding every word. It's about feeling included, understanding the main ideas, and enjoying the language as it happens naturally.
Kenji's story shows us something very important. Small, daily steps, listening, shadowing, repeating, can build confidence. And one day, without realizing it, you suddenly understand real conversations.
That's the magic. The first time you recognize words and jokes in a real conversation, it feels like the whole English world opens up for you.
And the feeling is incredible. It's proof that all the small efforts, 15 minutes a day, focused listening, repetition, are actually working.
So take Kenji's example. Start small, practice actively, and don't worry about perfection. One day you'll sit in a coffee shop, listen to English around you, and finally understand. And in that moment, you'll realize that all your hard work was worth it. That's exactly the moment we're aiming for when we practice listening every day, step by step, day by day, shadow by shadow, word by word. You can feel included in the English-speaking world, just like Kenji did. Let's talk more about Kenji. His dream was to take his backpack and explore many English-speaking countries.
He already knew some English, enough to order food, buy tickets, or have very simple conversations, but he wanted more.
Yes. Kenji wanted to feel comfortable and confident when speaking with strangers in natural, unplanned situations.
So he started listening to our podcast, but at first it was really hard for him. He honestly told me, "Teacher, I only catch maybe 1 word out of 3, sometimes even less."
And I told him, that's completely normal. Many learners feel the same way at the beginning. Don't worry, don't feel bad. This is just the starting point.
Then I gave him some simple advice. Start small.
Choose only 1 or 2 podcast episodes each week.
First, listen to the episode all the way through without stopping. Don't try to understand every word. Just get the general idea. Then listen again, but this time pause often. Write down new words, look them up, and replay the difficult parts more than once. Repetition is key. I explained it like this. Imagine tracing the same picture again and again until your hand remembers every curve and line. Listening works the same way. Your brain needs repeated exposure to the same sounds and sentences until they feel familiar, clear, and natural. Kenji's big breakthrough came when he started using the written transcripts we provide. But he didn't just use them like a dictionary. No, he used them as an active listening tool. His method was simple but powerful. He would listen to a short section of the podcast, then read the transcript carefully to see what he missed or misunderstood. After that, he listened to the same section again, and then he added a really effective technique: shadowing.
Now, you might be wondering, what is shadowing?
Shadowing is when you listen to a short piece of audio and immediately repeat it, trying to copy the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
It may feel a little strange at first. You might stumble, repeat awkwardly, or feel silly, but trust me, it's one of the best ways to improve both listening and speaking at the same time.
That's right. Shadowing trains your ears, your brain, and even your mouth to work together smoothly in English. And Kenji practiced shadowing almost every day. At first, he still needed to look at the transcript often, but after a few weeks, something amazing happened. He didn't need the transcript as much. The sounds that once felt fast and confusing were now forming clear sentences with real meaning. Slowly, he was connecting the dots in his mind. Words, phrases, and the rhythm of natural English started to feel familiar. And that, my friends, is the magic of daily active listening. Little by little, your brain begins to understand English the way children do, naturally, step by step.
So remember Kenji's method? Listen, pause, check the transcript, repeat, and shadow. 15 to 20 minutes of this every day can make a huge difference.
Step by step, day by day, your listening will improve. Words become clear, sentences flow naturally, and your confidence grows.
And that's how small, focused steps lead to real progress. Just like Kenji, you can feel included in real conversations, even in a coffee shop or on the street.
Let's continue with Kenji's story. Shadowing, remember, is when you repeat what a speaker says, copying their words, their rhythm, even the rise and fall of their voice.
It's like being a mirror for the speaker's words. At first, it might feel strange or even a little funny. You might stumble or feel awkward.
But trust me, shadowing is one of the best ways to improve both listening and speaking at the same time. It trains your ears, your brain, and even your mouth to work together smoothly in English.
Kenji practiced shadowing almost every day. At the beginning, he still needed to look at the transcript often.
But after a few weeks of focused practice, something amazing happened. He didn't need the transcript as much anymore. The sounds that once felt like a fast, confusing stream of noise were now forming clear sentences with real meaning.
Slowly, Kenji started connecting the dots in his mind. Words, phrases, and the rhythm of natural English began to feel familiar.
Then, one special day, Kenji sent me a message. I could feel his excitement, even through his words. He wrote, "Teacher, I was sitting in a coffee shop today. 2 people near me were speaking in English, and for the first time, I understood them. I didn't catch every single word, but I understood the conversation. I was so happy."
That moment was life-changing for him. For the first time, he realized that all his hard work was truly paying off.
Kenji later told me something very important. He admitted he didn't understand every single word in that conversation.
But here's the amazing part. He still understood the main idea of what the 2 people were saying. They were talking about a new movie.
And to his great joy, he even understood a joke they made and laughed at the right moment. He wrote to me, "It was such a small thing, but for the first time, I felt like I was really in the conversation, not just watching from far away. It was amazing. That small moment changed everything for me."
And that's exactly why shadowing, repetition, and daily listening matter. That feeling of connection, of truly being part of the English-speaking world, is the goal we're aiming for.
Yes, it's not about understanding every word perfectly. It's about feeling included, catching the main ideas, enjoying the rhythm, and participating in real conversations.
And once you experience a moment like Kenji's, you realize that all those small, daily steps, listening, repeating, shadowing, really work.
That's the magic. Step by step, day by day, your listening becomes easier, more natural, and even enjoyable.
And your confidence grows too. Suddenly, English isn't a confusing stream of sounds anymore. It's a language you can follow, understand, and even joke with.
That's why every small effort counts. Even 15 to 20 minutes of focused listening a day can lead to moments like Kenji's, moments where you truly feel part of the English-speaking world.
So remember, it's not just about words. It's about connection, understanding, feeling included. And that, my friends, is exactly what daily listening practice can give you.
So, as we said, listening practice isn't just about understanding words, it's about connecting, feeling like you're part of the English-speaking world.
Right, and learning English isn't just about passing a test or getting good grades. It's much bigger than that.
Absolutely. English can open doors to new experiences, exciting opportunities, and adventures that go far beyond the classroom.
So here's the big question. How can you make focused listening practice a simple, natural part of your everyday life?
Let's break it down into easy steps. Step 1, choose topics you truly enjoy.
This is the most important step. If you listen to something boring, your mind will wander, you'll lose focus, and your practice won't be as effective.
So think about what excites you. Love tech? Find podcasts or videos about tech. Love cooking? Listen to cooking shows or food-related podcasts in English.
Or maybe you enjoy true crime stories, mystery, detectives, thrilling cases. There are tons of English podcasts about crime and mystery.
When you listen to things that truly interest you, your brain becomes more active. You want to understand. Curiosity makes learning feel natural and fun.
Step 2. Start simple, then slowly make it harder.
For beginners, it's best to start with materials made especially for English learners, like this podcast. We speak clearly at a steady pace. We choose interesting topics, but avoid too many difficult words.
Then, as you feel more confident, you can slowly move on to real materials, things made for native speakers.
News reports, documentaries, interviews, TV shows, or YouTube videos on topics you enjoy. The key is to increase the difficulty step by step.
Exactly. If you jump straight into something too hard, you'll feel lost. You might get frustrated and lose motivation. That's why step-by-step progression is so important. Start easy, understand the basics, then gradually challenge yourself.
And remember, every small step counts. Even short, focused listening sessions every day add up. 15 minutes now is better than nothing.
Step 3. Listen actively. Don't just let English play in the background. Focus on understanding the main ideas, noticing key words, and following the rhythm of the sentences.
Try to guess what the speaker will say next. Repeat sentences out loud. Shadow the speaker. This makes listening real, active, and effective.
Step 4. Repeat and review. Don't be afraid to listen to the same episode multiple times. Each repetition strengthens your brain's ability to recognize sounds, words, and meaning naturally.
And the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. Soon, listening won't be frustrating or confusing. You'll start to understand conversations, TV shows, even jokes.
So, to make English listening a natural part of your life, choose topics you love, start simple, increase difficulty gradually, listen actively, and repeat.
Step by step, day by day, your brain adapts, your confidence grows, and English becomes a natural part of your world.
All right, so we talked about starting easy and gradually challenging yourself. That way you keep growing without feeling frustrated or overwhelmed.
Exactly. And now let's talk about step 3, the 3-step listening method.
Imagine you've chosen one short podcast episode or a short English video. Here's a simple method you can follow to really improve your listening.
Step 1. Listen for the main idea. Play the audio or video from start to finish just once. Don't use subtitles or look at any written text. Most importantly, don't worry about understanding every single word. Your only goal is to catch the big picture, the general idea.
Think of it like looking at a painting. At first, you step back and notice the big shapes and colors. Later, you can focus on the small details.
Here's an example. Imagine you're listening to a casual conversation about someone's holiday. On the first listen, you might catch these points.
They went to the beach. They really enjoyed the local food. The weather was sometimes rainy.
That's enough for step 1. You don't need every small detail yet. You're creating a clear outline in your mind, a wide frame where the smaller details will fit later.
Remember, you don't need to know the exact name of the restaurant or the precise kind of food. What matters is understanding the general feeling and the main activities being described.
That is the essence of step 1. Catch the main idea. Don't stress about the tiny details.
Now, let's try a quick practice together. I'm going to tell you a short, simple story. Your job is to listen carefully just one time and try to find the main idea, the most important message.
Here's the story. Last weekend, my friend Emily decided to try baking for the first time.
She wanted to make a chocolate cake, but she had never baked before. She followed the recipe carefully, measured everything, and mixed the ingredients slowly.
While baking, she accidentally spilled some flour on the counter and dropped a little sugar on the floor, but she didn't give up.
In the end, the cake turned out a little lopsided, but it tasted delicious. Emily was so happy and proud of herself.
So after listening once, try to ask yourself, what is the main idea?
You might say, Emily tried baking a cake for the first time, made a few mistakes, but she succeeded and felt proud.
That's perfect. You caught the main points without worrying about every tiny detail.
And that's exactly how step 1 of the 3-step listening method works. You're building a strong foundation for real understanding.
Later, we'll move on to steps 2 and 3, where you'll add details, check transcripts, and practice shadowing. But step 1 is all about seeing the big picture first.
Step by step, your listening becomes easier, more natural, and much more enjoyable. And that, friends, is how you start truly understanding English. All right, friends, let's continue with our listening practice example. Last time, we talked about step 1, listening for the main idea.
Now here's the story. Emily decided to bake sourdough bread for the very first time. She spent hours watching videos and reading recipes, trying her best to do everything correctly.
But when she finally took the bread out of the oven, it was flat and heavy, almost like a rock. She was disappointed, but she also laughed at how funny it looked.
Instead of giving up, Emily decided to try again next weekend. She was determined to become good at this new baking challenge.
So now, think for a moment. What's the main idea here?
It's not about how many hours Emily studied, and it's not about the science of why the bread was heavy. The main idea is simple. Emily tried to bake bread. Her first attempt wasn't perfect, but she decided to keep going.
Exactly. Step 1 is all about the big picture. Understanding the main idea helps you stay focused and not get lost in tiny details.
Now let's move on to step 2, listening for details.
After you understand the general meaning, it's time to go deeper. Listen to the audio again, but this time pay attention to specific words, phrases, and grammar patterns.
Play the audio again, pause often, and repeat as many times as you need. Your goal is to notice useful phrases, interesting vocabulary, and how sentences are structured.
For example, in Emily's story, you might hear the phrase, try again next weekend. That's a useful expression you can practice and use in your own English.
Here's a tip. If you hear a new word and don't understand it right away, first try to guess its meaning from the context. The words around it often give strong clues.
And if guessing doesn't work, then look it up in a dictionary. Another great habit is to write down the most useful words and phrases.
You can keep them in a small notebook, on your phone, or even in a notes app. But remember, you don't need to write down everything. Focus on the most important words and phrases that you can actually use.
Step 2 is about deepening your understanding. You're not just hearing English, you're noticing patterns, phrases, and vocabulary that make your listening stronger.
And this is where active learning really begins. Each time you focus on details, your brain starts connecting the sounds with the meaning naturally.
So remember, first, catch the main idea. Second, listen for details, useful words, and phrases. Step by step, you're training your brain to understand English more like a native speaker.
And the best part? This makes listening less frustrating. You start noticing more and more, and slowly real conversations begin to feel familiar and natural.
Step 2 is all about discovery. Every phrase you pick up, every word you understand is a small victory.
Keep practicing, keep repeating, and remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress, day by day, episode by episode.
All right, friends, we've talked about listening for the main idea, then listening for details. Now let's move on to step 3, shadowing.
Shadowing is a powerful technique we mentioned earlier. It means listening to a very short part of audio and immediately repeating it out loud. Try to copy the speaker's pronunciation, their rhythm, and even the rise and fall of their voice.
At first, shadowing may feel strange or even a little silly. That's completely normal. Don't worry about it.
With practice, shadowing becomes one of the best ways to improve both listening and speaking at the same time. It teaches your ears, brain, and mouth to work together smoothly in English.
Yes, you start to sound more natural and understand English more easily. Shadowing trains your brain and mouth together. It's like a full-body workout for your English.
Let's go back to Emily's bread baking story as an example. This time, while you listen, try to notice a few important words and phrases.
And if you feel confident, try a little shadowing. Repeat after me, copying the way I say the words.
Here's the story. Last weekend, my friend Emily decided to try baking sourdough bread for the very first time.
She spent hours watching videos and reading recipes. The first loaf came out a bit flat and very dense, almost like a rock.
She was disappointed, but also quite amused. She decided to try again next weekend, hoping for a lighter, fluffier result.
Emily is determined to master it.
Did you notice some key phrases? For example, sourdough bread. Hours watching videos. Flat and very dense. Disappointed, but also quite amused. Lighter, fluffier. Determined to master it.
These words and phrases are very useful. They add detail and richness to the story, making it more vivid and easier to remember.
Also, notice the contrast in the story. Emily's first bread was flat and dense, but what she really wanted was something lighter and fluffier.
That contrast helps you understand the situation better. It's not just words, it's meaning, context, and emotion.
When you shadow, focus on these details. Try to repeat phrases exactly as you hear them. Match the rhythm, stress, and intonation.
Shadowing might feel tricky at first, but it's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger your listening and speaking skills become.
And remember, even short, focused practice, just a few minutes at a time, can make a huge difference.
So for step 3, listen, notice key phrases, repeat, shadow, and feel the English flow naturally through your brain and mouth.
Little by little, the words stop being confusing sounds. They start forming sentences, ideas, and real understanding.
Shadowing turns listening into active practice, and this is exactly how you build real confidence in English.
So keep practicing, keep repeating, and notice how your understanding grows. Step by step, day by day, your English becomes more natural and alive.
All right, friends, we've talked about listening for the main idea, noticing details, and shadowing. Now it's time for the final step. Step 3, listen for connection and reflection.
This is often the step learners forget, but it's one of the most powerful parts of listening practice. Here, you don't just focus on words or details. You focus on your own thoughts and experiences.
Exactly. Try to connect what you hear to your life. Ask yourself questions like, does this story remind me of something I've done before?
Or, can I summarize the main points in my own words? Or even, if I were talking to the speaker, what advice would I give?
You can also ask yourself, what do I think might happen next? When you think this way, you're no longer passively listening. You're actively working with the language. You're making it part of yourself.
And that's when real learning begins. The language stops being just words. It becomes a tool you can use in real life.
Let's go back to Emily's bread baking story. Maybe as you listen, you think, oh, I remember when I tried making pancakes for the first time and they all burned. I felt frustrated too, but I learned something from that mistake.
Or maybe you think, I wonder what recipe Emily used. Maybe she should try a different kind of flour. That might help her get a lighter texture. See how this works? By connecting the story to your own memories, ideas, and questions, the language becomes personal and meaningful.
It changes English from a school subject into a real-life tool for communication and understanding. That's the magic of reflection. And this works with any story or conversation. The more you connect, the more you remember. The more you feel the language as part of your world.
Now, let me share another story that shows how powerful continuous listening can be. This is about a man named David. David moved from Germany to Ireland for a new job. His English was already good enough for work, mostly technical tasks, reading emails and following instructions. But David wanted more. He wanted to understand casual conversations at the office, small talk with coworkers, and the humor people used in everyday life. He knew that formal learning and grammar were helpful, but they weren't enough. Real understanding comes from listening often, actively, and thoughtfully. So David started a daily listening routine. He used podcasts, videos, and short conversations he found online. Some were easy, some were challenging. Each day, he tried to follow the 3-step method. First, get the main idea. Second, notice details, useful words and phrases. Third, connect what he heard to his own thoughts and experiences. At first, it was hard. Some conversations felt too fast or confusing. But step by step, repetition by repetition, his brain adapted. Slowly, he began to catch jokes, understand casual expressions, and even anticipate what his coworkers might say next. That's the power of connection and reflection. When you engage with English like this, it stops being something out there and becomes part of how you think and interact. Step 3 turns listening into deep learning. It's not just hearing, it's understanding, relating, and thinking in English. And that's what takes your listening from hard and confusing to natural, confident, and enjoyable.